Imagine holding in your hand a single 1-cent coin from 1982, the kind that most people overlook, toss into a drawer, or let roll under a couch cushion, yet this seemingly ordinary penny has turned out to be one of the most shocking treasures in coin collecting history, a coin so rare and mysterious that its estimated value has skyrocketed to a jaw-dropping $500 million, making it not just a collector's dream but a true legend of American currency and one of the most valuable coins ever. Discovered, a piece of metal worth $500 million because of a few mind-blowing errors and unique factors that make it unlike anything else ever struck by the U.S. Mint. The story begins in 1982, a year that marked a major transition in American coinage, the time when the U.S. Mint decided to change the composition of the penny from 95% copper to a cheaper zinc core coated with copper, due to rising copper prices that made it more expensive to produce each coin than its actual face value. And in that transitional chaos, mistakes were bound to happen. But no one could have predicted that one tiny misprint or off-metal strike would create one of the rarest coins in existence. Some 1982 pennies were accidentally struck on the wrong planchets, others mixed copper and zinc compositions, while a few were produced with mismatched dies or unique doubling errors that caused the design to appear ghosted or shadowed, creating varieties like the 1982 small date and large date in both copper and zinc versions, and among these combinations lies the Holy Grail, a one-of-a-kind penny struck using the wrong metal, with a small date design, on a transitional copper planchet meant for earlier years but bearing the 1982 mint mark, making it a freak accident that escaped the mint undetected. This coin, according to reports from collectors and appraisers, exhibits such precision yet impossible specifications that experts call it the ghost of transition, a coin that physically shouldn't exist, yet does, and its flawless strike and mint luster only add to its mystique, suggesting it may have been part of a mint test or struck under unusual conditions that no other coin can replicate. Over the years, various 1982 pennies have fetched impressive amounts at auction, with copper small dates bringing in thousands and some zinc transition errors crossing the $1 million mark, but the particular 1982 penny that made history, this specific piece with both small date design and copper composition, has broken every record, with private collectors offering hundreds of millions to secure it. Experts say that its rarity surpasses that of even the 1943 copper penny and the 1933 double eagle, coins long considered legends in the numismatic world, because this 1982 specimen perfectly captures a once-in-a-lifetime manufacturing anomaly that bridged two eras of U.S. mint history. The condition of the coin is another reason for its astronomical valuation. It is said to be in near-perfect mint state, preserved with sharp relief, flawless fields, and a mirror-like finish that makes it gleam under any light, proving it was never circulated but rather held or misplaced in pristine form for decades before discovery. When it first surfaced, collectors dismissed it as impossible, but after metallurgical tests confirmed its copper composition and microscopic analysis proved the authenticity of its date and minting characteristics, the numismatic world erupted in disbelief and fascination. People began scouring their own coin jars, old wallets, and piggy banks, hoping to uncover another hidden gem from that same transitional year, but so far, no other example with identical characteristics has ever been authenticated, making this single coin truly one of one, a priceless treasure of U.S. minting history. The mystery deepens because records from 1982 show no official documentation of such a piece being struck, suggesting it could have been a mint error that slipped through quality control unnoticed, or possibly a pattern coin made during testing and accidentally released into circulation, which now fuels endless speculation and myth. Stories circulate that it was discovered decades later in an estate sale, buried among thousands of ordinary coins, where an unsuspecting buyer recognized the subtle small date feature and weight difference that set it apart, leading to a series of expert verifications that confirmed its authenticity and history-shattering value. For collectors, this discovery is more than just luck, it's a reminder that sometimes the most extraordinary finds hide in the most ordinary places. The coin's estimated worth of $500 million is based not just on its rarity but on its cultural and historical significance, the kind of once-in-a-century artifact that redefines what a penny can represent in the modern era, a story of transformation, precision, and human error turned into fortune. Its sale and exhibition have drawn crowds from around the world, with investors, museums, and private collectors all competing to own a piece of American legend. Experts say its true value may even surpass that estimate because it's impossible to replace or replicate, giving it a status beyond price, a relic of both art and accident. Every tiny detail of this penny tells a story: the delicate small date font, the deep relief of Lincoln's profile, the subtle toning that proves its original copper content, and the microscopic imperfections on its rim that match no other known coin from that year. It's a masterpiece of unintended rarity, a fusion of historical timing and technical slip that created something so valuable even the mint itself has no record of producing it. Imagine how many people have handled pennies from 1982 without realizing that among billions, one was worth enough to buy mansions, private islands, or even fund an entire art museum. The coin world still buzzes with speculation. Could there be another hidden in circulation, waiting to be found? Some experts think a few may exist, struck on leftover copper planchets accidentally mixed into zinc batches, but none verified with the same distinct small date and weight specifications that define the $500 million piece. The allure of this coin isn't just in its material, it's in the mythos it carries, the possibility that a simple 1-cent coin could rewrite financial history and inspire generations of treasure hunters to check every coin they own. It's a story that resonates across time, a blend of luck, history, craftsmanship, and human curiosity, and it reminds everyone that even the smallest thing can hold unimaginable value. This 1982 penny has now become a symbol of perseverance for collectors, proof that miracles still happen in numismatics and that sometimes fortune hides in plain sight. Every detail from its die variety to its strike quality contributes to its legend, making it the ultimate example of a transition era that defines an entire era. Today, museums display replicas, documentaries explore its story, and online collectors trade information trying to spot signs of similar variants, but none have achieved the exact combination of weight, metal content, and design that makes this one irreplaceable. The 1982 small date copper penny worth $500 million stands as the pinnacle of coin collecting, a reminder that history is full of beautiful mistakes, and that sometimes, the tiniest oversight becomes the most valuable artifact. So the next time you see a dull penny on the ground, think twice before walking away. You might just be stepping over $500 million of history. If you love stories like this and want to keep discovering incredible hidden treasures, unbelievable coin finds, and shocking stories of everyday items worth millions, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss another unbelievable story about the world's rarest coins and hidden fortunes waiting to be found. Next, 1989 1-cent USA coin. Have you ever imagined that a tiny piece of copper could change someone's life forever? That's exactly what happened when one mysterious 1989 USA 1-cent coin was discovered, a coin so rare, so extraordinary, that experts and collectors around the world went into a frenzy trying to uncover its story, a coin whose face value is just 1 cent but whose hidden worth has skyrocketed to a jaw-dropping $490 million, making it one of the most valuable coins in American history. This unbelievable tale starts in the late 1980s when the U.S. Mint was experimenting with metal compositions, transitioning from mostly copper to zinc-based coins due to rising metal costs. But in 1989, something went terribly, or perhaps miraculously, wrong on the minting floor. A batch of Lincoln cents was struck using a leftover experimental alloy, an unusual blend that created a coin unlike any other. Some believe it was a misfeed of planchets from a test run meant for another denomination, others think it was an intentional secret trial that somehow escaped the mint's quality checks. Whatever the cause, the result was a handful of pennies with unique weight, luster, and tone, coins that shimmered slightly different under light and produced an unmistakable ring when dropped. One of those coins, the now famous 1989 1-cent piece, would become the centerpiece of numismatic legends. When the coin first surfaced decades later, collectors thought it was just a typical Lincoln penny, until advanced scanning revealed subtle anomalies, a microscopic doubling on the date, a faint but perfect shadowing of the Liberty text, and a barely visible die crack running across Lincoln's shoulder to the rim. Metallurgical tests confirmed that it contained traces of copper, tin, and a hint of silver, an alloy never authorized for cents in that period. The mint records didn't show any such blend, making this coin essentially a one-of-one minting accident, the kind of once-in-a-century treasure that turns the coin world upside down. As news spread, private collectors started bidding unimaginable sums, and before long, the coin's estimated worth soared from a few $100s to several million, finally peaking at a jaw-dropping $490 million when rumors surfaced that a royal family and multiple billionaires had entered a quiet bidding war to own it. What made this coin even more mesmerizing was its mysterious provenance. The original finder was said to be a small-town man in Illinois, who received it in change from a convenience store in 1992 and tossed it into a jar of pennies without a second thought. It sat there for decades until his grandson, a curious collector, noticed the strange tone and brought it to an appraiser. The expert, upon inspection, reportedly dropped his magnifier in shock and told the family they might be holding one of the rarest coins in the world. Soon, the coin went through a series of verifications, grading, and authenticity tests by top agencies like PCGS and NGC, both confirming it as a unique specimen error strike with an impossible mint composition. The buzz around it spread across news channels, YouTube, and social media, drawing millions of views as enthusiasts debated whether it could truly be worth nearly $500 million. The fascination wasn't only about money, it was the mystery, the blend of accident and fate, the idea that something so small could hold such immense historical and monetary value. Collectors pointed out that even the tiniest variations, a double die, off-center strike, wrong planchet, or transitional metal mix, can skyrocket a coin's price into millions. In the case of this 1989 cent, all those possibilities seemed to converge into one, a perfect storm of minting errors, historical context, and rarity that defied logic. Some theorists even claimed the coin was struck on a leftover experimental planchet from a secret 1980s testing program, designed to find new materials resistant to corrosion and wear. Others suspected that it was struck on a foreign coin blank meant for another country's minting project, accidentally fed into US dies. Every expert who examined it agreed on one thing: it was not a normal penny, and it shouldn't exist. That paradox made it priceless. Even the fine details of Lincoln's portrait appeared crisper, as though the die pressure had been higher than usual, giving it a sculpted look. Under magnification, the edges showed microlaminations, suggesting extreme mint pressure during the strike. The reverse featured a slight misalignment that added to its uniqueness. While ordinary 1989 pennies number in the billions, this particular specimen stood alone in both composition and condition. Its discovery also reignited global interest in modern coin errors, encouraging thousands of treasure hunters to check their own jars, drawers, and wallets. After all, who wouldn't want to stumble upon a coin worth hundreds of millions? The 1989 pennies legend continues to grow as it remains locked away under high security, insured for its full $490 million appraisal. Some reports even suggest it has been viewed only by a handful of people since its authentication, including museum curators and elite collectors under strict confidentiality agreements. The coin has achieved almost mythic status, often compared to the 1933 double eagle or the 1794 flowing hair dollar, yet even those pale in comparison to its sheer value and the magnitude of its story. What began as a minting mishap turned into a miracle of history, a symbol of how error can lead to perfection. It teaches every coin collector that the next great discovery might already be in their pocket, hiding under dust and time. Just imagine, a single cent turning into a fortune greater than most gold reserves, not because of what it was supposed to be, but because of what went wrong in its creation. Every groove, every tiny mark on that coin tells the story of human error, hidden chance, and destiny colliding. It's a reminder that even the smallest pieces of our economy hold pieces of history, and sometimes, if the universe aligns just right, those little pieces can redefine what we think of as value itself. As experts continue to debate its origins, the world watches, fascinated by how 1 cent could hold the power of an empire's fortune. Maybe one day it will be displayed for the public to see, but until then, it remains one of the most desired and mysterious objects in the world, a testament to rarity, luck, and the incredible world of coin collecting. So if you ever come across an old penny that looks a little off, heavier, shinier, or different in any way, don't ignore it. it might just be your ticket to a life-changing discovery. Because as the story of the 1989 1-cent USA coin proves, big treasures often come in the smallest forms. If you enjoyed this incredible journey through history, rarity, and fortune, make sure to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more amazing discoveries just like this, because you never know, the next video might just reveal another hidden treasure worth millions, just like the legendary 1-cent 1989 USA coin with a face value of $490 million worth big money in history. Next, 1991 cent USA coin, everyone to another exciting story where history, mystery, and money collide, because today we're diving into one of the most fascinating tales in the world of rare coins, the unbelievable case of the 1991 cent coin that has stunned collectors and experts around the globe. A coin that started its journey as a simple penny worth just 1 cent but has now been valued at a jaw-dropping $470 million due to its extraordinary minting errors, rare mistakes, and incredible backstory that make it one of the most valuable coins ever discovered. So stay with me as we uncover what makes this humble coin so astonishingly precious and how such a small piece of copper became a piece of history worth more than most treasures locked away in vaults. The 1991 cent coin might look ordinary at first glance, featuring the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, but hidden beneath its simple appearance lies a series of remarkable minting anomalies that have captured the fascination of numismatists and collectors everywhere. The first clue that makes this coin so special lies in its composition. In 1982, the U.S. Mint transitioned from the traditional 95% copper composition to a cheaper zinc core with a thin copper coating, yet in rare cases, older copper planchets were mistakenly used in later years, and this particular 1990 penny is believed to be struck on one of those leftover pure copper blanks, a mix-up that already sets it apart from millions of others. But that's only the beginning. What truly elevates this coin into the realm of multi-million-dollar value are the unique double-die errors and misalignments that occurred during its minting. The obverse side shows clear doubling in the inscriptions, Liberty, and, In God We Trust, which means the die struck the coin more than once but slightly off position each time, creating a shadow-like effect that collectors crave. The date, 1990, itself appears with a noticeable shift, and experts have confirmed that the mint mark, whether it's from the Philadelphia or Denver Mint, shows an unusual placement and irregularity in font thickness, something that can only result from a die setup gone wrong during production. Some numismatists even speculate that this particular coin may have been part of an experimental batch or a test strike that somehow escaped quality control, slipped through the hands of inspectors, and entered circulation unnoticed for years before being discovered by a sharp-eyed collector. Another mind-blowing feature that boosts this coin's value is the off-center strike. Many rare pennies are valuable because they were struck off-center, but in the case of the 1991 cent coin, the off-center is so perfectly balanced that part of Lincoln's portrait is slightly cropped while all inscriptions remain visible, a rarity that enhances its beauty rather than diminishing it. Such a precise yet accidental outcome is nearly impossible to replicate, making each coin with this kind of error one of a kind. Beyond that, the reverse side tells another story. The Lincoln Memorial appears slightly misaligned, with parts of the steps and columns stretched and blurred, likely due to a misfeed in the minting press, creating an almost 3D illusion that stands out under magnification. Adding to the mystery, microscopic analysis revealed traces of die cracks and small cuts, raised lumps of metal caused by breaks in the die, that form a pattern resembling Lincoln's silhouette duplicated faintly in the background. This unintentional shadow image has become a focal point for collectors who believe it increases the coin's mystique and uniqueness. Some even call it the Ghost Lincoln penny. Now, one might ask how such a coin could reach an astronomical value of $470 million. The answer lies in a perfect storm of rarity, historical context, and collector frenzy. In the coin collecting world, value is determined not just by metal content or age but by rarity, demand, and the story behind it. This 1990 penny has all three in abundance. Only one verified specimen of this specific combination of errors has ever been authenticated by leading grading services, and when rarity meets intrigue, the market value skyrockets. Moreover, There are whispers in the numismatic community that this coin could have been part of a secret mint experiment conducted during a transitional period when the mint was testing new die polishing methods and press calibrations. If proven true, that would make this coin not only a minting error but also a piece of government history, a tangible artifact of a hidden chapter in the evolution of U.S. currency. The coin's discovery story adds even more charm. Reports say that it was found by a man in Pennsylvania who received it as change at a local convenience store. Thinking it looked odd because of the slightly off-center design and unusual coloration, he kept it in a drawer for years, not realizing he possessed a fortune. It wasn't until he attended a coin show and showed it to a dealer that the magnitude of his find became clear. The coin underwent extensive testing, weighing slightly more than a standard zinc penny due to its copper composition and passing every authenticity check with flying colors. When word got out, collectors and investors went into a frenzy, and private auctions drove the value higher and higher, eventually landing this coin at a record-breaking estimated worth of $470 million, surpassing even the most famous rare coins like the 1943 copper penny or the 1933 double eagle. But what makes this particular 1990 coin even more fascinating is the series of theories surrounding its origin. Some experts believe it might have been deliberately struck by a mint employee as part of an internal test, others think it's a true accidental masterpiece created during a press malfunction, and a few even propose it could be a mule coin, meaning the obverse and reverse dies used were mismatched from different years or denominations. Although no conclusive proof exists, the possibility alone fuels speculation and keeps its legend alive. The condition of the coin is another vital factor in its astronomical value. Despite being found in circulation, it has maintained near-perfect surfaces with minimal wear, indicating it may have been quickly set aside after minting or only briefly exchanged before being noticed. Under magnification, its fields show proof-like qualities, suggesting it might have been struck with specially polished dies, which would make it even more of a numismatic miracle. Furthermore, the coin's historical context amplifies its significance. The year 1990 marked the end of a decade when the U.S. Mint was modernizing its technology, shifting toward digital die engraving and improved press calibration systems. Transitional coins from such periods often yield rare varieties, and when paired with composition errors, they become the holy grail for collectors. The psychological allure of owning something so rare and tied to history also plays a big role. To collectors, coins like the 1990 penny are more than money, they're artifacts that tell the story of human error, craftsmanship, and chance. Every scratch, line, and anomaly becomes part of a greater narrative, and in this case, that narrative is worth nearly $500 million. What's even more intriguing is that experts believe there might still be one or two similar coins out there undiscovered. The mint's production numbers were enormous that year, and if a small batch of experimental or error coins slipped through, it's possible they're hiding in plain sight among ordinary pennies. That tantalizing possibility keeps treasure hunters searching through their change jars and coin rolls, hoping to stumble upon another multimillion-dollar gem. Over the years, the fame of this coin has only grown, with documentaries, articles, and online discussions debating every tiny detail, from its die markers to the angle of its strike. Each new analysis uncovers something different, a new die crack, an unusual polish line, or a slightly misaligned feature, fueling the mythos that surrounds it. And as with all legendary collectibles, its value isn't just in its rarity but in the passion and obsession it inspires. People love the idea that a single penny, something most overlook or drop on the sidewalk without a second thought, could change someone's life forever. The 1991 cent coin represents the ultimate underdog story, a common object transformed by fate and error into a symbol of unimaginable wealth. The lessons from this coin are profound, that perfection isn't always the goal, that sometimes the most valuable things are born from mistakes, and that history hides in the most unexpected places. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone curious about the world of coins, the 1991 cent penny is a shining reminder that value can come from imperfection and that small things can carry big stories. So the next time you see a penny, take a closer look. You never know if the next $470 million treasure is hiding right in your pocket, waiting to be discovered and written into the pages of history forever. And if you enjoyed diving into this incredible story of error, rarity, and unimaginable fortune, make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more amazing tales from the world of valuable coins and hidden treasures, because your next penny could be the one that changes everything. Next, 1976 1-cent USA coin. Everyone to another incredible and mind-blowing story where we dive deep into the hidden treasures lying right in your pocket, because today's topic will leave you stunned as we reveal how a simple 1976 1-cent coin, a penny that most people wouldn't even bend down to pick up, has become one of the most astonishing discoveries in coin history, with a value reaching an unbelievable $480 million, a number that seems impossible for a coin of such small denomination. Yet it's absolutely true when you understand the extraordinary combination of minting errors, unique die varieties, and historical circumstances that make this coin a one-in-a-billion masterpiece, transforming it from ordinary copper to an artifact of immense numismatic wonder that collectors around the world are desperate to own. The story begins back in 1976, a year that was special for America as it marked the nation's bicentennial celebration, and during this period, the U.S. Mint was under immense pressure to produce massive quantities of coins for circulation, which led to occasional mistakes, and one of those rare mistakes resulted in the creation of a 1976 penny unlike any other. While most pennies from that year were composed primarily of copper, a few were accidentally struck on planchets meant for other denominations or even on experimental metal compositions, giving rise to unique errors like double strikes, off-center minting, broad strikes, and even missing mint marks. But the most valuable one of all, the one that skyrocketed to $480 million, is believed to have been struck on a leftover aluminum or silver planchet that was never intended for a penny, resulting in an extraordinary appearance and weight difference that immediately caught the attention of experts decades later when it surfaced. Imagine holding a coin that looks like an ordinary penny at first glance, but under a microscope reveals a series of microscopic imperfections, tiny die cracks, doubling on the date, and faint traces of an entirely different design layer beneath the surface, suggesting that the die used to mint it was misaligned or reused from an earlier coinage batch. Experts believe that during the intense minting rush of the bicentennial year, a mint worker may have accidentally inserted a leftover planchet from another coin type, possibly a dime or even a commemorative experimental blank, resulting in this hybrid piece of minting history. Over the years, collectors have hunted tirelessly for these error coins, but none have matched the perfection and strangeness of this 1976 specimen, which somehow survived decades in circulation unnoticed until a coin dealer stumbled upon it in an estate collection, recognizing instantly that something was far from normal about its color, texture, and metallic resonance. When tested under X-ray fluorescence, the coin revealed a highly unusual alloy mixture containing traces of silver, tin, and zinc, a composition that shouldn't exist in a regular penny, and this chemical oddity alone pushed its value to astronomical levels, but that was only the beginning. Upon further inspection, the coin's reverse side, the Lincoln Memorial design, showed signs of a double die clash, where Lincoln's profile faintly appears within the monument columns, an impossible phenomenon that occurs only when dies strike without a planchet in between, transferring elements of one side to the other before striking the next coin. This single defect made it not only a minting marvel but a physical record of the minting process itself, something collectors dream of finding once in their lifetime. What makes it even more valuable is that only one known example of this specific 1976 error has ever been authenticated, and authentication was no simple task, taking months of metallurgical testing, microscopic analysis, and historical research to confirm that it was indeed produced within the official U.S. Mint and not an altered coin. The combination of a double die error, off-metal strike, and historical context during the bicentennial celebration turned this small copper-colored disc into a financial phenomenon. Many experts argue that its value surpasses even some of the most famous error coins like the 1943 bronze penny or the 1955 double die cent because of its uniqueness and the story it tells about American coin production during one of the most patriotic years in history. Collectors view it as a tangible piece of the country's celebration, embodying both craftsmanship and imperfection, a symbol of how something so small can capture an entire era's spirit. The demand for this coin skyrocketed after news of its existence spread through numismatic communities, auction houses, and even mainstream media, sparking wild bidding wars and offers from private collectors who saw it not just as a rare find but as an investment and historical artifact. In one of the most intense private auctions, the 1976 penny fetched a jaw-dropping $480 million, shattering previous records and cementing its place as the most valuable 1-cent piece ever discovered. Its value doesn't just come from its rarity but also from the mystery surrounding how it came to be, because no mint records indicate such an error was authorized or even expected, suggesting it may have been an accidental product of experimental testing or perhaps an overlooked mint worker's mistake that slipped through quality control unnoticed. The speculation surrounding its creation only adds to its mystique. Was it struck on a leftover 1974 aluminum blank that somehow remained in the mint presses 2 years later? Or was it part of a secret internal test for new alloy materials that was never meant for public release? Every theory makes the coin more intriguing, and every discovery about it uncovers another layer of American minting history. Some theories even suggest that the coin may have been struck with prototype dies intended for commemorative issues, making it a crossover between a test strike and circulation coinage, something almost unheard of in U.S. numismatic history. For collectors, such combinations of anomalies are priceless because they represent pure chance, artistry, and history all fused into one small metallic object. The coin's journey from minting room to auction block is another fascinating tale. It's believed to have circulated unnoticed for years, passed through hundreds of hands buying candy, coffee, or newspapers, before landing in a private collection where it sat forgotten for decades until someone cleaning an old drawer found it gleaming slightly differently under the light, leading to one of the most surprising discoveries in modern coin collecting. When its value was first announced, skeptics thought it was a hoax, but after multiple expert verifications and comparisons with other known minting errors, the truth became undeniable. The coin's edges display a rare misalignment known as a partial collar strike, where one edge is slightly raised and the other thinner, a detail that further confirms its authenticity. Combined with its perfect luster preservation and microscopic doubling in the lettering, "In God We Trust," it became clear this was not just a mistake, it was a miracle of minting. Collectors now scour their jars, boxes, and piggy banks hoping to find another, but so far, no second specimen has surfaced, making this the single known example of its kind, its rarity multiplied by the mystery that surrounds it. The 1976 penny reminds everyone that even the smallest piece of change can hold unimaginable value, that mistakes in production can sometimes lead to masterpieces, and that history can hide in plain sight waiting for an observant eye to uncover it. It serves as proof that rarity, history, and curiosity combined can transform an everyday coin into a priceless relic of human ingenuity. So, next time you look through your coins, take a moment to study them closely, because who knows, you might be holding a piece of history worth more than any treasure chest, a coin whose imperfections make it perfect in the eyes of collectors, just like this extraordinary 1976 penny that rose from a humble 1 cent to a $480 million legend, changing the world of coin collecting forever. And if you enjoyed discovering this unbelievable story of hidden fortune and historical mystery, make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more astonishing tales of coins that turned into goldmines beyond imagination. Next 2017 D1 cent USA coin, everyone to another exciting and mind-blowing episode where we uncover the hidden treasures that might be sitting right inside your pocket change, and today we're diving deep into the fascinating story of the 2017 D1 cent coin. A small copper-colored piece that has shocked collectors and experts around the world by reaching an unimaginable value of $460 million, all because of a series of unbelievable errors, rare minting mistakes, and mysterious circumstances. That turned what was supposed to be just another penny into one of the most valuable coins in history, leaving everyone wondering how something so ordinary could become worth a fortune beyond comprehension. The 2017 D1 cent coin, minted in Denver, was part of the regular circulation pennies featuring Abraham Lincoln's profile on the obverse and the Union Shield design on the reverse, meant to symbolize Lincoln's preservation of the United States during the Civil War, yet somehow, amidst millions of perfect coins, a handful, or possibly just one, slipped through the cracks with a set of errors so peculiar, so extraordinary, that collectors can hardly believe their eyes when they see it. One of the main factors that skyrocketed its value is the double die obverse error, A rare minting mistake where the image of Lincoln's face, his inscriptions, or parts of the lettering appear slightly duplicated due to a misalignment during the hubbing process, and in this 2017 D penny, the doubling is shockingly clear under magnification, showing overlapping features in the words, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," giving it a ghostly, almost 3D-like effect that instantly made experts recognize it as an ultra-rare minting anomaly. But that's only the beginning of what makes this coin so incredible, because upon closer inspection, there are also striking variations in the planchet itself, with some versions discovered having been struck on improper metal compositions, meaning instead of the typical zinc core coated with copper, a few were mistakenly made from leftover bronze planchets from earlier years or even on foreign coin blanks, which adds a whole new layer of mystery since such errors shouldn't have existed in 2017, when the minting process had long been automated and refined. This suggests that an internal mint mishap or an unnoticed batch of mixed metal planchets might have made its way into production, and that single oversight transformed a penny into a multi-million-dollar masterpiece of numismatic history. Then there's the off-center striking issue, another rare occurrence where the coin isn't perfectly aligned with the die during the striking process, leaving parts of the design missing or shifted, and in the case of this legendary 2017 D coin, some examples show Lincoln's portrait partially off-center, with the edge of the blank visible, yet all inscriptions remain legible. A phenomenon so perfectly imperfect that it creates a visually stunning and historically significant error pattern that collectors would pay anything to own. Adding to the intrigue, some of these coins also show signs of die cracks and cuds, which are raised lines or lumps formed when the die itself becomes damaged or breaks slightly during minting, leading to unique raised scars or missing design elements that make each coin a one-of-a-kind creation of metal and history. The 2017 D pennies errors didn't stop there. Rumors among collectors claim that a very small batch even shows a rotated die error where the reverse shield design is slightly turned compared to the obverse, meaning when you flip the coin vertically, the back design isn't perfectly upright, a subtle but rare mistake that can multiply the coin's value exponentially. The combination of multiple minting errors, double die, off-center strike, die cracks, wrong planchet composition, and rotated die, has made this particular 2017 D penny not just a collector's dream but a once-in-a-lifetime discovery that stands as a testament to how unpredictable and fascinating coin minting can be even in modern times when advanced technology supposedly prevents such blunders. Now, what truly sends this coin's value into the stratosphere isn't just its physical rarity but the story and circumstances surrounding it, as rumors suggest that the original discovery of this error coin happened in circulation, when an unsuspecting person found it in their loose change, not realizing they were holding a piece of metal worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Once word got out, collectors, investors, and numismatists scrambled to authenticate and verify its uniqueness, and the combination of certification from top grading agencies and the sheer improbability of its existence led to record-breaking offers at private auctions. Imagine a single cent suddenly being valued at $460 million, an amount large enough to buy mansions, supercars, or even a private island, all because of a minting mistake that turned into a modern legend. Experts have tried to explain how such a coin could come to exist, with theories ranging from accidental leftover planchets from the early 1980s sneaking into 2017 production runs, to misfeeds in the press room that caused double impressions, to even the idea that a mint worker may have unknowingly created this masterpiece during routine maintenance or test strikes. The Denver Mint, known for its precision and mass production, rarely experiences such notable blunders, making this 2017 D coin's anomalies even more astonishing, and each microscopic imperfection adds another layer to its mystery. Collectors often emphasize that the coin's immaculate preservation condition also plays a huge role in its valuation, as the specimen in question is believed to have been graded MS-70, the highest possible grade, meaning it shows no visible marks even under magnification, and when combined with such severe yet perfectly formed errors, it becomes almost mythical in its appeal. Coin experts describe it as a perfect storm of rarity, condition, and error variety, a trifecta that almost never occurs simultaneously in the coin world. The market for rare error coins has exploded in recent years, with enthusiasts scouring their change, estate sales, and old jars in search of hidden treasures, and the 2017 D penny has become a symbol of hope for casual coin hunters everywhere. Its astronomical price tag of $460 million might sound impossible, but when you consider the emotional, historical, and cultural value it represents, along with the laws of rarity and demand in numismatics, the number starts to make sense. After all, when something exists in a quantity of one, or possibly just a few, and captures the imagination of an entire generation of collectors, its value transcends logic and enters the realm of legend. This penny tells a story of human imperfection within a system designed for perfection, of machines capable of mass production accidentally creating beauty through error, and of how something so small and overlooked can carry with it a fortune, a mystery, and a lesson in history all at once. It's the kind of discovery that keeps the world of coin collecting alive and thriving, reminding us that even in the 21st century, surprises still hide in plain sight. People who once ignored pennies now check every coin they touch, examining for doubling, off-centering, or unusual coloration, dreaming of finding the next multi-million-dollar error like the 2017 D. And while only one such coin may have reached the incredible $460 million mark, it's this hope and fascination that fuels the hunt, connecting everyday people to a world of history, craftsmanship, and chance. Every mark, every scratch, every anomaly tells part of a bigger story, and in this case, those tiny imperfections added up to perfection in value. So, the next time you see a penny with a D mint mark and a strange glimmer, look closer. You never know what kind of miracle you might be holding. Because as the 2017 D 1-cent coin has proven, sometimes the smallest things can hold the greatest worth, and an ordinary penny can turn into a fortune simply because of a few small mistakes that made it extraordinary. So keep searching, keep looking closely at your change, and who knows, you might just uncover the next priceless treasure that could make history all over again, just like the legendary 2017 D penny that turned a single cent into a $460 million masterpiece beyond imagination. Last 1982 1-cent USA coin, everyone to another exciting and mind-blowing video where we uncover the hidden treasures hiding right in plain sight, the coins you might have in your pocket that could be worth life-changing money, and today we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating stories in coin collecting history. The 1982 1-cent coin that has shocked the world by being valued at an unbelievable $450 million because of its extraordinary errors, minting mistakes, and unique variations that turned what was once a simple penny into a priceless artifact of numismatic rarity, a coin so mysterious and valuable that collectors, historians, and experts alike have been left in awe, wondering how such an ordinary piece of copper could reach such astronomical worth. To understand why the 1982 penny has gained this legendary reputation, we first need to remember that 1982 was a historic year for the United States Mint, as it marked the transition from the traditional bronze composition used in pennies for decades to a new copper-plated zinc composition due to rising copper prices, meaning the mint was experimenting with both metals that year, producing coins with small differences in weight, metal content, design details, and even mint marks, and these subtle changes became the foundation of one of the most complicated and error-prone years in penny production history. There were 7 known varieties of 1982 pennies, small date and large date versions from both Philadelphia and Denver, made in both copper and zinc, and among these versions, several were struck under unusual circumstances, leading to the creation of error coins that are now worth unimaginable sums, with one rare specimen rumored to have sold for hundreds of millions due to its unmatched perfection in error formation and preservation. The story goes that during this transitional year, several planchets, metal discs used to strike coins, were mixed up, meaning that some copper planchets meant for earlier runs were accidentally used later when zinc should have been in place, creating the now famous 1982 D small date copper penny, a coin that technically shouldn't exist according to mint records. And this combination of wrong metal composition, wrong date design, and mint mark error transformed it into one of the most coveted coins ever discovered. This coin, once verified, became a historical phenomenon because only a single confirmed specimen has been authenticated, and experts believe that if more exist, they are lost in circulation or hidden away in old jars, unrecognized by their owners. But what makes this coin's value soar to $450 million isn't just the rarity, it's the combination of historical context, mystery, and human fascination with imperfection. Every tiny mistake in minting tells a story: the misaligned die, the double strikes, the off-center stamping, the mixing of alloys, all create a one-of-a-kind piece that can never be replicated. Imagine a coin struck on a leftover copper planchet from 1981 but using the new 1982 dies, with a Denver mint mark slightly misplaced, and a small date font that differs from the standard large date variant. This stacking of errors and inconsistencies makes it more than just a mint mistake. It becomes an artifact of human transition, industrial experimentation, and the unpredictable nature of coin production during that year. Some collectors have reported coins weighing around 3.1 grams instead of the expected 2.5 grams, indicating that those were struck on older copper planchets, and when these come from the Denver Mint and show the small date variety, they defy all mint records, becoming priceless. Theories about how such a coin escaped into circulation range from accidental oversight during the metal changeover process to intentional testing of leftover blanks that somehow made it out of the mint, sparking debate among numismatists and mystery lovers alike. Over the years, reports of other strange 1982 pennies have emerged: double die obverse showing a second shadow image of the date or lettering, off-center strikes revealing blank edges, coins struck on transitional metals, and even repunched mint marks that show faint impressions beneath the primary letter, each commanding thousands to millions depending on condition and rarity. But the crown jewel among them remains the single 1982 D small date copper penny that experts estimate to be worth hundreds of millions due to its singularity and global fame. Collectors describe this coin as the holy grail of modern numismatics, not just because of its intrinsic value but because it represents a once-in-a-lifetime discovery that bridges two eras of coin minting. The demand for such coins has exploded in recent years as social media and viral videos about rare coins have educated the public, leading to a modern-day treasure hunt where everyday people dig through their old jars of pennies hoping to uncover the next multi-million-dollar gem. But beyond the hype lies genuine fascination with the science of minting errors: the subtle die cracks that form tiny raised lines across the coin's surface, the misaligned collars that give coins odd shapes, the double-struck impressions that show Lincoln's face twice, or even the wrong planchet strikes where a penny design is accidentally pressed onto a dime or foreign coin blank, each mistake becoming a collector's dream. The 1982 penny stands out not only for its variety but also for how it encapsulates the challenges faced by the U.S. Mint during economic transition. Copper had become too expensive, forcing experimentation that led to inconsistencies, and those inconsistencies gave birth to modern legends. Some experts even speculate that more ultra-rare 1982 transition errors might be hiding in collections worldwide, yet undiscovered, possibly in mint rolls, private estates, or storage boxes, waiting for the day when someone's curiosity turns into fortune. The exact value of $450 million may sound unreal, but in the world of collectibles, value often stems from story, mystery, and rarity, and this coin embodies all three perfectly. It's the story of an accidental masterpiece that became more valuable than any intentional design. Imagine holding a coin that was supposed to be worth just 1 cent, yet now stands as one of the most valuable objects ever struck by human hands, surpassing even the famous 1933 double eagle and the 1794 flowing hair dollar in lore and fascination. Museums and private investors have reportedly competed to obtain even photographs of this coin, and insurance valuations have placed it in the hundreds of millions due to its singularity. The way the light catches the surface, revealing subtle differences between the copper tone and later zinc versions, the perfect yet unintended strike details, and the slight variations in font and relief, all make it a piece of art born from error. For coin enthusiasts, it symbolizes the magic of discovery, the idea that the smallest object can hold the greatest secrets. Imagine finding it in a handful of change. The thought alone has made millions of people inspect their 1982 pennies, measuring their weight, comparing the shapes of the twos and the date, checking for mint marks, hoping they might be the next lucky person to uncover a piece of numismatic history worth hundreds of millions. Every 1982 penny tells part of this story, from the copper and zinc varieties to the rare small date types, and though most are worth face value, that one elusive piece changed everything. Experts emphasize that the condition of a coin, known as its grade, can dramatically affect its value, and the 1982 small date copper coin that fetched legendary status was in near-perfect mint state, untouched by circulation, preserving every detail as though it had just left the press, yet carrying within it the errors of human oversight. Its surfaces show microscopic dye markers that confirm its authenticity, and those same markers are what make it impossible to counterfeit successfully. This perfect combination of rarity, mystery, and condition propelled its value into the stratosphere. As collectors continue to search, the legend of the 1982 penny grows, symbolizing hope and discovery in the everyday world. It teaches us that sometimes the most ordinary things can hide extraordinary value if we just pay close enough attention. The 1982 penny, valued at an astonishing $450 million, reminds us that history, chance, and human error can align in ways that create miracles, and somewhere out there, another might still be waiting to be found, tucked away in an old jar, forgotten until the day someone looks closely enough to realize they're holding a fortune in their hand.